Hi, welcome back. Today I want to talk about a program that I've decided to start using. With me doing book formatting and cover design for my wife and other people, I was having an idea. I was writing a script to do a short film or like a graphic novel, but I have decided until I have a full-on story ready to go, I'm going to do it in the format of a novel. So what I have downloaded here is Manuscript. It's a fairly good program. If I open a recent, I actually have something here. If I go here in Manuscript, I really don't have a name for it. It is going to be a science fiction. I do have, the summary is not really filled out. But if I go to characters, I do have character sheets, character basic notes. You know, in the summary, detailed info, I just have basic info. You know, the age of the person, this is a female character, you know, and just different things that drive them to get to what they're going to. You know, this is kind of a story where someone was working for a company, but then that company essentially experimented on them and they ended up with abilities that are not really good and, you know, but are good for certain uses. You know, it's a superhuman human strength through electricity. I'm thinking as I go through the story, she may have abilities to hack different, you know, anything that is electronic, she may be able to control herself without some device or anything, but she does have augmentations also. And I've got some other characters. This is a former scientist. You know, she's providing information to her. This is essentially a military person that is meant to help her. This is a journalist that I'm thinking of putting into the story, but may not put it in the story. This person is technically the villain, but the villain is actually the company pretty much. And I just have stupid names for it right now, like the syndicates or the syndicate. It just, it's why I have here, depending on how he chooses to act. He can either be a villain or an ally. And then the actual corporation, which could be unknown members in the corporation, obviously, behind her transformation and their motives and why they are doing what they're doing. And then this is the head of the research person overseeing the projects and genetic enhancements. So I do have some plots: morality and manipulation, trust and betrayal, identity and redemption. That's essentially the direction that the story is going to go. I may do all of it in the form of one book or spread it out across a couple. It just depends how it's going to go. I don't have anything in the world. I do have the outline here set up. I do have an editor. So if I go here and just click that, you can see right now I've got prologue and chapters all the way to the epilogue. You can see I have to-dos on every single one. The prologue would be a flashback showing Alex's life before she was part of the Syndicate Corporation. So I have to-do. You can do first draft, second draft, final. I have it on to-do. You can do point of view if you're going to do it from the point of view of her. I have not created any characters that are her parents. So right now I'm still fleshing stuff out, but right now it's just to do. I put a goal of 500, and this is essentially this here is this on the actual folder. But if I go down here, I can click this prologue and I'm in the editor. Now, and right now I just have basic stuff. If I actually hit enter here, you see that it indents automatically. That is something I did have to set up in this program because it wasn't doing it automatically. And some reason when you do this, it doesn't bring this over like I'd like it to. But you've got stuff like font size and everything like that. Revisions, views, you have your outline, text editor, you know, your max width, font size, and I'm right now it's just on NATO Sans. Alignment left, you know, you can justify it in this program also. Tab with indent first line, and actually, just for the heck of it, we should honestly just justify it because, you know, get nice organized information, you know. So I could do some, let's see, I'll hit enter again, do those, you know, just basic stuff, you know, because you want to indent your dialogue. But this is stuff that you can do while writing. You do have a distraction-free mode. It won't hold your settings that are in here, but it is fairly good to use. Personally, I really don't use the distraction-free because, let's see, if I go in here, you got your full screen modes. You know, right now I have it on just gentle blues. You can have different backgrounds and stuff like that. So, you know, you got simple fiction is what I have it on, you know, and you could change your background color. You know, you can do stuff like that you can do. So just to give an example of the distraction-free editor, let me go here really quick. I'll put it in this one here. You can go down here to this full screen mode here. Sometimes it'll give you a pop-up, but otherwise this is it. But as you can see, it's not respecting the tabbing mode. But again, you can, you know, sit there, type, I'll hit escape. Now you see the indent. So it is good. I mean, there's numerous things that you can do with this. You know, I do need to flesh out the story. You know, I just wanted to throw some stuff in here just to get things going, but more than likely it is going to be laid out with just stuff like these, and the name of the chapters is honestly going to pertain to a character that I'm introducing. So need to flesh it out. I need to honestly possibly change characters' names because I might change the roles that they have in the story. But this is something that I do honestly like. This program is under active development. I thought it was abandoned, but it did have a new version come out recently, actually, which is the 0.17, which came out pretty recently. This is the Flatpak version because the Arch version that is in the Arch repos is honestly 0.16. So I'm just using this Flatpak version. I'm probably going to be fleshing out some characters. I'm probably going to be creating some supporting characters pertaining to this Marcus Hart person. So to just flesh out the story, because I don't know if I want this to just be one book or multiple. So, but I can definitely say that this program, I am going to use it. And then obviously I'm going to use Scribus to do all the formatting and everything. But this is a good thing because I do like that putting your chapters in their own folders and in their own text files. I do like that. Now, if I just go here, let's see. If I do Control S, let's go File, Compile. To compile the book, you're honestly decide here what will be included in the file, in the final export. So we'll have the title and the text. And you could do, I need more granularity. So, you know, you could have level 1, level 2. But let's see, we'll do that. We'll check out the filters. You know, you got stuff like that. And it's going to export it to plain text. You can export it to Markdown, HTML. You can do latex, HTML, EPUB, open document, docx, stuff like that. More than likely, what I will end up doing is probably plain text, but I might do an open document format also. It just depends, because what may end up happening is I may just take the text from this program and move it into Scribus. So plain text would be really good. That's just another thing you can do. I'm going to leave it on plain text. We can do a preview. You got prologue. So this, I believe, is going to actually put it in just one text file. So if I do Markdown and then do preview, if I go document, does not give you a preview. Let's try HTML. Let's try the preview. Okay. So more than likely what I'll end up doing is just putting it in an open document format and possibly putting the chapters in their own folders. So filters, what items will be included in the final output. Not fully implemented yet. So ignore compile status, include all items. So this stuff, sub items of prologue. You know, you got all these different options that you can do, but I do like this, and honestly just putting it in a text document would work for me, because then I can just, because I don't need the formatting for the text inside of like a text document. I just need the text so I can move it inside of Scribus. So far, I think this manuscript is pretty good. If anyone has any further suggestions for other software for writing novels, I want to do a review of possibly some programs for doing screenplays. I may include a commercial program, but I'm going to try to only do open source programs for that. But like, subscribe, comment below, share the video, and I'll see you next time. Later.